these are the cards I pulled for our new black moon in Capricorn. For our past card, I pulled the Strength card. And this is interesting because in our previous tarot reading for the moon, the full moon, guess what I pulled for the past card? Same thing. I shuffled the deck, I cut the deck, and yet I pulled the same card. So this is a very strong, no pun intended, message right now. I do feel like the message is different from the previous time 2 weeks ago. I believe that this card is now just really confirming everything that we've been through. The jaw of the lion is being held by the woman here, representing the challenges that we've had to face and maybe pursue in a different way. There's also this very strong alpha masculine energy, and then this more yin, soft, feminine energy, representing the wholeness that we have had to accept within ourselves and the balance that we've had to find between yin and yang, masculine, feminine, expressing through voice and expressing through action, etc. There is red details here on the card. We have a red feather in the woman's hat and red squares on her cloak. The red feather is representing the action of the mind. The red squares on the cloak represent the physical action taken from the mindset. You might have spent this year having thoughts, putting them into action, making things happen, or maybe things didn't happen as expected. Mars, our planet of taking action and the masculine, is retrograde right now in Leo, and this is the Leo card. So we are not taking action in the typical way. Maybe we're taking action in a different way, or we're just taking different action, new goals, new pursuits. Finally, notice all of the yellow around the card. I do believe this represents our bliss that we've been trying to find over these past few months. 2025 is all about rebirthing ourselves into the life that we truly feel like we deserve to have. And we've been doing the work over this past year to help us embody that worthiness to receive the joy and the abundance that's on our way. I also feel like this card is telling us to quiet our ego just a little bit, to not fall into that victim mentality, to not look back at our failures and be like, oh, woe was me. It's all about finding our strength. Look at how far we've come. Look at what we've made it through. And look at how far we have to go from here. This is a card that has the number 11 on it. 11 is a master number, so it can mean 1-1, which we are getting the same moon at the end of the year that we got at the beginning of the year. It could also mean that number of being in the 11th hour. This moon is rising just 2 days before the new year. We're encouraged to reflect right now, to look back on our wholeness, to look back at our oneness, to look back at how we are more complete at the end of this year versus looking at all the pieces that are missing. Because when we start to look back at all of the things that we've been through, and instead of viewing them in a negative, we view them in a positive light, we start to have more of that perspective overall. We don't see things as failures anymore. We don't see things as losses. It's always going to be a win. It's always going to be something to celebrate. And Leo energy is all about celebration of life. For the present card, I kid you not, we pulled the Capricorn card, also known as the Devil. Magic number 6 representing this card because we have 15 and 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is all about our magic. And we have a lot of orange on this card. So she's wearing a red dress and she's got this orange around her and some orange squares at the bottom, representing our sacral chakra. This orange, magical, intuitive, creative, fertile energy that we get to have free will to decide how we use. The devil is in the details, the choices we make, the tiny actions that we take every single day. And those little choices that we make that may seem subtle, but have a huge butterfly effect moving forward. Notice how she's got an angel and a devil on her shoulder. This is a card that is telling us that we have a choice to stay where we are, or to stay in this older version of ourselves that doesn't serve, or to stay in this victim mentality, or we can be more holy about the approach. We can have more light as we move forward. Every time we fail, we see it in a more positive light. We put a positive spin on it. And that's the action that we're going to have to take as we move through challenges ahead. Don't let one failure in the future end it all for you. Look back at the choice you made, maybe the mistake, learn from it, and then move forward from there. Trust in your intuition, trust in your magic. Make sure that you're leaning into the choices that give you an ability to grow versus shrink down. Remember that Capricorn is ruled by Pluto, the planet of the underworld, who's been in that like Capricorn energy for 16 years. But we're not in it anymore. We're in Aquarius. So we can be more open-minded. We can be more free-willed and free-thinking. It's not like our hands are tied or divine intervention is coming into play. We really do have the ability with our own co-creative magic to make whatever we want happen. I did get a reverse card for our future card. I got the King of Wands. And this is the last card in the deck, in the minor arcana. And the King of Wands typically is somebody that's very balanced, very certain of themselves. They embrace both their yin and their yang. When we find this card reversed, it might be us having self-doubt, being unsure that we can be our fullest, most authentic, most expressive self, being unsure that we can show both sides of ourselves to the world, or being unsure that we can live within all of these facets of ourselves and still be happy and still be joyful and still be abundant, still be fortunate. The yellow around the card could be representing the ego that's holding you back from being in your magic, being in your craft, being in your skill. This age of Aquarius is going to invite us into being more open to whatever makes us weird and special and unique. And wands in the tarot represent what makes us weird and special and unique, and how those crafts and gifts and skills can be used to better the world, bring more joy and bliss into the world, bring more joy and bliss into our world. But we have to get over this mindset, this rigidity. Notice how he's all, armored up here. We have to soften ourselves into that belief system that we can be who we are, that we can do what we want, that we can express ourselves, and that we can let our gifts shine without any repercussion. The King of Wands is a protection message because it's in reverse right now. And it wants to remind you that this is a potential outcome of your future. You can be guarded up. You can feel upside down. You can be hanging out in old worlds, old behaviors, old patterns, old lives. Or you can turn it right side up. You can take action and you can believe in your magic and bring it out. Don't just believe in it, but bring it out, make it happen. Start using your gifts, start using your skills, and you will start to rule your life. Fully enjoy, fully in bliss. I forgot that when you do a thumbs up, it does maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but there's your protection message for the future. I think it's the perfect one. And that is your reading for this new Black Moon in Capricorn. This is what I have for you tonight, loves. If you are catching the recording, if you are a 13 Moons member, we are going to pull cards for you as well. I'm going to pull from the Egyptian Tarot tonight, which is only major arcana.